Brendan, lovely to catch up again. What do you make of the lectures we're already starting to hear from Glasgow?
I think that COP26 is just going to be a grotesque spectacle of decadence and hypocrisy. What we have here are the rich and powerful flying in, many of them on private jets, many of them driving around in big gas-guzzling cars, lecturing the rest of us about the need to rein in our material aspirations. You know, learn to live with less. That's what the green ideology is all about. Drive less, fly less, eat less meat, be less greedy. We are going to hear those kinds of messages from the kind of people who fly around in jets that it costs £10,000 an hour to hire out. So it's going to be incredibly annoying. I think it's going to be a horrible spectacle. And it captures the essence of the environmentalist ideology, I think, which is really about well-off people telling the oiks how to live.
Yes, and all these Moses, 20,000 of them in Glasgow wanting to lead us out into the promised land. Talking about hypocrites, Prince Charles, he flew to Rome first to that G20 meeting in a private jet to give this sermon to world leaders before flying to Glasgow for more sermons. Here he is.
It is also impossible not to hear the despairing voices of young people who see you, ladies and gentlemen, as the stewards of the planet, holding the viability of their future in your hands. And I've listened to those leaders of the private sector who are now more and more anxious to invest in the projects and new technologies that could establish a more rapid transition to sustainability.
Brendan, are you sort of touched that a royal frequent flying hypocrite wants to help green carpetbaggers, all these businessmen and these investors make billions from flogging green schemes with taxpayer subsidies, of course? Or are you horrified that a future king is playing politics so blatantly?
I'm horrified, absolutely horrified. The monarch should not be playing politics in this way. We all know that the Queen is not well at the moment. She's been advised to take 2 weeks rest. So, you know, she's old, she's getting on. And the prospect of the next head of state being someone who is so interventionist in the political realm is something that should concern everyone who believes in democracy and who believes that, you know, the reason British people fought wars over the past 350 years was precisely to keep the monarch in his or her place. But also there is, once again, the hypocrisy. The royal family collectively have flown enough air miles over the past 5 years to get to the moon and back. And they are lecturing the rest of us. You know, you have, of course, Charles's estranged son, Harry, and Meghan went to a concert for climate change and then flew away from the concert in a private jet. I mean, it really is a sickening level of hypocrisy. And I think lots of ordinary people are looking at this, especially post-lockdown, when times are hard, and they're wondering why we're being lectured by such wealthy people.
Yes, and to think of all those climate billionaires shaking the tin for more public money to back their green schemes, and the Prince saying, yep, donate to these good causes. Look, we've got a fight with the French President, Emmanuel Macron. You guys have got one too, the fight with this little Napoleon.
We have, absolutely. The French are going all guns against the UK over fishing rights after Brexit, where the French boats should have the right to fish around Jersey. Of course, Jersey is off the French coast, but it's a British Crown dependency. And the French Prime Minister, Jean Castex, wrote a really interesting letter to the European Commission in which he essentially said we have to make an example of Brexit Britain in order to show that there is more damage from leaving the EU than staying in. He said we have to send that message to the people of Europe. This is how ruthless the European Union has become. It wants to punish Brexit Britain as a warning to the people of Europe more broadly not to do what we did. My view is, if a union will punish you for trying to leave, then that's not a union that it's worth being a member of. And I think people should bear that in mind.
And I think he's doing exactly the same thing to Australia, making an example of us to other smaller countries, saying, you cross France, we're going to hold you up as to public ridicule, etc., etc. Brendan O'Neill, thank you so much indeed for your time.